I'm going to make a, you know, most men, they like steak and potatoes, meat and potatoes. So I figured the best way would be to make a nice T-bone steak here. I'm going to make a shiitake mushroom demi-glace with that. A demi-glace is like a very highly flavorful sauce. And then I'm going to do green beans. I'm going to show you a little trick you can do, like something real simple, but yet turning it into something complex. And then I'm going to roast some potatoes. I have purple potatoes. A lot of people have never seen these. They taste just like regular potatoes. And I'm going to toss them in the garlic and rosemary.
So it looks like you're tossing it in some
olive
oil. Is there a specific olive oil that you use?
I just use, you know, any extra virgin olive oil. I mean, you know, some are better than others. I mean, you don't want to spend, if you're not in the market to spend $20 on olive oil, by all means, don't do it. But I'm doing the potatoes first because when you're cooking, you want to manage your time properly. The potatoes are going to take longer to cook, so I'm going to put them in first. One thing I do tell people is when you're seasoning food, as I'm about to season this steak, I try not to ever use garlic salt or garlic powder, or garlic salt or onion salt. Because I'm already adding salt to it. If you add garlic salt, garlic and onion salt, you're just adding more salt. You're adding more than you really need. So I'm going to, this is how I like to season my steak. I happen to think that my steaks are the best on earth. Now, when you're making a steak and you hear the term sear, the purpose of searing meat is if you're going to finish the meat in the oven, which is what I'm going to do. Searing actually locks in all the moisture and everything. You don't want to, for instance, if you take a chicken breast and just throw it in the oven, it always cooks funny. As opposed to putting a little love on it and then searing it in the pan and then finishing it in the oven.
So the seasoning is basically salt, pepper?
I like to season my steaks with salt, pepper, Montreal steak seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, and then I always use a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And then sometimes I may even use balsamic vinegar.
But the ingredients are numerous. You can use whatever you want to season.
Yeah, you can use anything you want to season the steak with. You know, one thing I try to tell people is not to over marinate meat, because what happens when you marinate meat, the salt draws out moisture in the meat. T-bones, your sirloin, your filet mignon, all those things, all different cuts of meat that you can easily just saute. It'll go in the oven for, say, 20 minutes.
Okay.
It's kind of thin. I mean, it's a thin steak, so. The next thing I'm going to do now is make sauce. I'm going to make a real nice sauce here from the drippings in the pan. Not gravy.
Au jus.
It's all jus time. And then we'll just let this cook down, and then I'll add some beef stock to this. And then this is the start of our shiitake mushroom sauce here. Yeah, adding the beef stock to it, and we're just going to get it. You see the color on there, so we got the color that I want. And then we'll just let that go. Let the tomato dissipate through the stock, and then we'll finish it. Right. After a meal like this, I'm going to sleep. So, if you want anything done, there will be no fences painted. There will be no going to the movies. So, when you serve a meal like this, and you're trying to do it big, have a Red Bull handy.
So, after you cook a meal like this, ladies, don't ask them for at least an hour. At least an hour.
Yeah, nothing's getting done. Now, another way, like we say, cooking away to a man's heart, I would suggest either learning what football is or learning how to make football food. I just added the mushrooms, and then you'll see, we got a nice color on it. It's the consistency that I want it to be and everything. So we can get ready, We're almost home. We're almost home. Instead of doing French fries all the time, there's nothing wrong with taking potatoes, tossing them, some garlic, some herbs. They taste just as good as French fries, and they're better for you. And
Okay, y'all, look at this plate. Look at this. Tell me that don't look good.
That does look good.
Lord.
Oh, and now he's putting the au jus. Oh, yes.
And then just for color, I like to do a little bit of blue cheese crumble.
Who likes blue cheese? Don't like
Blue cheese on your steak? That's what I'm talking about.